Hey everyone, KPIT has declared its Q4 results. Its revenue has grown 16% year on year and net profit has grown 49%. Although it also includes one-time income. So excluding that, growth is 35% year on year, which is fantastic. What I really like about KPIT is its management has so far achieved all their past guidance. In fact, in many cases, they have done better than their guidance. It really built trust in the company. And this is one slide I absolutely love. It's been 19 consecutive quarters of growth in both revenue and EBITDA. 19 quarter means nearly 5 years. This is rare. Overall in FY25, KPIT revenue has grown 18.7% year on year in constant currency terms. EBITDA has grown 24% rate and net profits have grown 41% year on year. Now even after such fantastic number, market did not cheer KPIT performance. Its share price kind of remained flat. And so far the stock price has fallen 35% from the peak. And that's because of slowdown in earning growth, higher valuation, uncertainty in FY26 and challenges from Chinese car maker. Please note that unlike previous years, this time KPIT management did not share revenue and EBITDA guidance for FY26. And the key reason is due to Trump tariff. Management said that everybody is aware about tariffs. The speed at which the things will get executed is still not fully clear in the short term. Although they further said it is a question of quarter or two at the most. And that is one reason why we do not know how the conversion of order into revenue will happen. Apart from US tariff uncertainty, KPIT is facing a unique challenge. The challenge is from Chinese OEM, that is the car maker. See, we all know that KPIT is a tech company that provides software solution in mobility segment with special focus on passenger cars. KPIT focus area include autonomous driving, connected vehicle, electric and conventional powertrain, vehicle diagnostics and advanced driver assistance system, that is ADAS. It basically helps OEMs to transition their car towards software on wheel model. Now KPIT clients are mainly from Europe and US. For instance, last year Q4, US contributed 30% in company's revenue, Europe contributed around 52% and remaining around 18% was from Asia. Now the challenge is, Chinese OEMs have taken the world by storm. These Chinese players are offering high quality EVs at competitive price and building strong software and electronic capabilities internally and entering Europe aggressively. As a result, European OEMs that once led the global car market are now facing a slowdown in growth. In fact, in the latest Q4 result, revenue from Europe has fallen by 6.4% year on year and even in the US, barring Tesla, there is not much innovation. And that's where in Q4, US market contributed only 4% in KPIT revenue growth. The key growth for KPIT has come from Asia that has grown 73%. And now in latest Q4 FY25 revenue, Asia contribution has increased to around 29%, Europe contribution is now 43% and remaining 28% is from US. Please note that at the moment, KPIT primarily market remains US and Europe. So the risk is, if European clients of KPIT remain behind the curve in EV development, it will hamper KPIT growth as well. But the positive aspect is, European OEMs are realizing they may be falling behind and need to significantly accelerate their transformation in software-defined vehicles, that is SDV, to remain competitive. So this urgency to counter Chinese EV dominance is likely to fuel long-term investment in SDV program. For example, KPIT has deep partnership with BMW, Renault and others who are doubling down on SDV platform as a countermeasure. And there is greater reliance on partners like KPIT for architecture, middleware and integration. On top of this, KPIT also has some exposure in China that has given them valuable learning, especially around cost efficiency, quality and feature-rich deliveries. Now they want to leverage this learning with their global partners. Management highlighted that our work in China and our partners' work in China has helped us learn how to deliver at lower cost with better quality and more features. We are now using these insights to help our global clients compete better. So overall, if we conclude, on one side, Chinese car makers are aggressively capturing the global car market with better pricing, faster innovation cycle and rapid scaling. And that has certainly created concern around slowdown in European car market that is still the highest contributor for KPIT revenue. But at the same time, KPIT also look at this threat as an opportunity where European car makers have realized the urgency to counter Chinese EV dominance. and it is likely to fuel long-term investment in SDV programs, that is software-defined vehicles. Moreover, the ongoing US tariff has created a big overhang for next few months, and hence there is no clarity on revenue growth at the moment. However, if you look at the bigger picture, car industry is clearly shifting towards software and wheels model, and car makers know that if they do not invest in R&D and do not innovate, their car can become obsolete. Hence, car makers would continue to invest in R&D, and KPIT would be a strong beneficiary of this trend. Also, the fact that adoption of EV and connected car globally is still not very significant, and it is growing at a fast rate. So long-term growth story of KPIT is still intact. Finally, if you look at the valuation part, KPIT share price has seen an extraordinary growth since 2020 period, with nearly 50 times growth from COVID lows of rupees 40 to peak of nearly 2000. Now the share price growth has partly come from EPS growth and partly from PE expansion. During FY19 till FY25, KPIT net profits have expanded from 148 crore to 840 crore. That's nearly 5.5 times growth in earning. During the same period, its PE ratio expanded from 8 to 86. Yes, COVID days were crazy. Stocks were available at dirt cheap valuation. So PE re-rating resulted in another 10 times growth. However, in this rally, KPIT valuations became very expensive. Well, KPIT will certainly command a premium for the kind of earning growth it has shown in the past, plus the future is also very promising. However, PE of 86 at the peak was insane. Today, after the correction, the valuations have cooled down to PE of around 40-42. The only question is it worth paying a PE multiple of 40-42 to KPIT at the moment? Well, it is a very tricky call. Generally speaking, the valuations are still high considering the uncertainty in global market. But KPIT is one of the favorite of domestic institutional investors that are consistently increasing stake in the company from 11.6% in December 23 to now at 21%. However, FIs are the big seller in KPIT, and net public holding is at similar levels. Interestingly, MIT, that I closely track because of its long-term holding, has not sold any stake in KPIT. So at the moment, FIs are reducing stake in KPIT, but DIs are increasing stake. Ideally, I would like to buy KPIT at a PE of around 30-35. So that would require another 20% correction in valuation. Let's see if I can get these levels or not. By the way, I'm holding KPIT in my portfolio from very low levels and do not intend to sell my shares. In fact, if I get KPIT at my desired valuation, I'd be more than happy to increase my allocation. And if you are looking to buy KPIT shares at the moment, I would suggest that it's better to take a systematic route where you can divide your money in, let's say, 4 parts and deploy it systematically over the next few months. And as I said earlier, the valuations are still not cheap. So from here, I don't see a lot of scope for PE re-rating. In fact, if the initial few months of FY26 remain challenging, KPIT may face selling pressure. Let's see. We have to track the results very closely. So overall, there is no doubt that KPIT is a fantastic company, but there are multiple risks in FY26 that has created uncertainty in business growth. Plus, valuations are also not cheap at PE of around 40-42. Hence, I don't see a key trigger in near term. But if there is another 15-20% correction, valuations would become much better to consider accumulating KPIT. Otherwise, like I said, you can consider adding KPIT in a systematic manner for the long term, whatever you feel comfortable with. So this is it for this video. If you find it useful, do share it within your circle. I'll see you next video. Till then, take care.